How's it on?
Yep.
Oh, it's on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talks with Jody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Hit that notification bell to stay updated with the latest content. Let's go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Navigating Anxiety with the Sul. Sul,
Hi peeps.
welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me back.
Yes. Always a pleasure to have you. Last time we spoke about stress, right? We started our journey with mental health talks. Started with stress. Now we're just moving on to anxiety, and anxiety. I feel like I've spoken to Michael previously.
Yeah.
Procrastination, one of the biggest reasons why people procrastinate is fear and anxiety.
Yeah.
So what I want to dive into is just the anxiety as a whole. What is anxiety?
Well, anxiety is basically this feeling of unease, and it's usually associated to an event that you can't run away from it. Something that is going to happen regardless of what you do. And it's usually with an outcome that we don't know what it's going to be. It's uncertain.
Yes.
So because it's in the future, people project and
Different scenarios.
Yeah, because we've come from or developed from cavemen, we always have to kind of go into that fight or flight mode, survival. And even though we are in a much better space than our ancestors were, we still have that survival. So it's going to look for things to kind of keep us safe. Because if there's any bit of adversity, our brains will determine that is dangerous. That is something that's going to end badly. And then it just gives you all these feelings that you might associate with being negative.
Yes. So it's like your body goes into it's like a siren. Your body goes into like that alert mode. Alert.
Like I'm in danger now. I'm in danger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think why I enjoy having conversations like this with you is because I've mentioned to you also in the past is that you always remind me, because I come to you with a lot of this where I've been anxious about something or something's made me upset, and you always remind me, stop focusing on something that you cannot control in the future, because 10 to 1 that won't happen.
Yeah.
And then getting that reminder, having that constant reminder helps ground me, and I feel like, okay, you know what? Why am I going on about this?
Yeah.
And then 10 to 1, 90% of the time, it didn't happen. So then it's like,
Or
okay.
it didn't happen as badly as you envisioned it to happen.
Yes. So, but sometimes you need that constant reminder.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like anxiety, it's an actual thing. I think people, and I know there's still people traditionally feel like anxiety does not exist. It is. You do get people that, but honestly, anxious, I'll give a perfect example. Anxiety, I haven't trained in like 2 weeks. For me, somebody that's a frequent gym goer that lives, I've been sick, but also at the same time, you have to look after your health. You have to, if you can't go train, if you're not, your body and your heart is a muscle as well, you have to look after your heart. If you're not capable of doing it right now, you have to take a step back and focus on everything else.
Yeah.
Focus on your health, focus on maybe this time you could work on something like read a book, or I'm just saying. So I've been anxious for not training. No, I'm not training.
I can understand and relate to that. Yeah.
You see, so now I need to work on that. I need to work on, okay, I'm not going to train now, but now I cannot be anxious. The gym will always be there. I can get to that one day, but if I'm going to rush to it while I'm not 100%, I'm just delaying the
recovery process.
So anxiety is something that you have to work on. You have to find methods. What is give me sort of experiences from your side. What sort of scenarios or experiences in the past have you had that's made you anxious?
Now, just before we get to my personal experiences, I think acknowledging that you have anxiety, it's great. It's a great first step.
Yes.
But ignoring it is definitely not the answer. That's not what you want to do. You want to acknowledge it and find methods that can kind of ground you, bring you back to your baseline, and help you grow as well. And I think that's actually the most important part of overcoming anxiety or dealing with it. It's not just sweeping everything under the rug, because once you get to a certain point, I mean, you can just explode, and that's not what you want to happen. I'm not gonna get too detailed into what that inclines, but you know what I mean. But personally, one of the most intense situations for me was when I found out I was gonna be a father. I think that's something I haven't really shared much with anyone, but
you haven't opened up about
yeah,
it. Yeah.
but that was for me one of the most intense situations. I was like, I'm young. I don't think I'll be able to do this. I'm scared. Like, what if I don't have the same connection with my son that I had with my father? I mean, he set such a great example for me. But like we came back to earlier. If we come back to what I said earlier, it's our brain trying to throw us off, put ourselves in a situation of danger. But we need to remind ourselves that what's bad is always available, but what's good is also available. So if you focus on how you can actually turn that situation into an opportunity to grow, you realize that.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You're tapping your foot down all the time.
Oh, I was.
Up on your knife.
My bad.
Yeah. Sorry.
I didn't even know.
Every time you're talking, you do. So now when it comes back, it's gonna tap the whole time.
I think I'm just gonna put that
just
foot
right
flat there.
Continue. Sorry.
No, it is good. We make mistakes, guys. I mean, I might have been anxious here. Who knows? But that was definitely a situation that made me feel like I wasn't able to handle it. I looked so far into the future that it took me out to the present moment. But if I could go back, I would just be like, you know what, everything's gonna be okay. Because it turned out fantastic. I have an amazing relationship with my son, and I'm more in a space of looking forward to what's to come versus being afraid of messing up or making mistakes. Like, that's going to happen, but it's what I take in my stride and learn from that.
But what I like about your situation is, you get people, and I'm an example of that, where people are trying to seek other things first in before having a family.
Yeah.
Let me first get financially stable. Let me do this. Let me do that before I have a family. But yet, I know of so much people who've had unplanned families, but they're making it work because it's like a fight or flight. Like you sort of go in that survival mode. So I feel like sort of not preparing is seems to be a better result, or people who have been in a position of not preparing or not being prepared have actually just made it work even 10 times better than those who said, okay, no, at 35 I'm starting my family, and because by then I'll have my career, blah blah. I don't know. I don't believe in that. I feel like it happens when it happens. What is your take on that?
My take on this would be, it's all up to your perspective. Whether you plan and it goes according to your plan, or whether you don't plan, it's how you perceive it. I mean, you can plan with your partner, you have a kid that time, and then it's not what I expected. And you can still go on complaining about that.
Yes.
Versus with an unplanned, where you subjectively have more reasons to be like, it's not going right because I didn't plan for it. But I think it all comes back to how you perceive the situation. Like, this allows you to dig deep, find parts of yourself that can actually help you excel and become a better person, versus, you know what, I don't want to deal with this, I'm going to give up. And that's not very, I'm trying to find the word here. It's not going to help you in your future and going forward. So why not take the more productive path, which is acknowledging things might be difficult and knowing that hardships actually help you grow into a better person.
So, like, basically, plan. Have a plan, because if you're just going to sit back and only acknowledge that life's tough, you're just going to end up procrastinating. You're not going to to follow through with anything. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm coming back to where you said where this unprepared or having an unprepared family, right?
Yeah.
I know of amazing parents, whether they married, whether they're single parents, that has an amazing relationship with their kids, but was unprepared. So that's why, like, my question to you is, do you feel like there's just a sort of like a survival mode or something within the individual, like that? I don't know. Do you understand?
I believe it comes back to the mindset, the individual.
Is the individual's mindset?
Definitely the mindset thing. Because if you are dealt any sort of cards, I mean, you can perceive it as positive or negative.
Yes.
And like I said, whether you plan, I think planning is amazing. If you can follow through on that plan, and then if things go out, like not according to the way that you wanted it, still being able to push through that.
But that makes you anxious.
It does.
If you have that plan and you don't stick to the plan, or it doesn't go according to plan, it creates that anxiety. But now that's what I'm saying. Why I'm not sticking to that. I want to stick to where we unprepared, unplanned. Like I'm talking about like unplanned. Okay. So that sort of anxiety. How does that role play in that, like that bold? Because like I said, I'm not saying every unprepared family is successful or has a great relationship. I'm just saying, for those that I know, I'm using you as an example. I've got also an amazing friend, Jared.
Yeah.
Even though he's with his wife, they never prepared. But they're amazing parents. They have a great relationship with their child as well. I'm asking you this as somebody that doesn't have kids. I don't know. I'm still being in your position.
Yeah.
But I'm still sort of in that mode of, I want to plan. Like like by 35, but also with doing that makes me anxious. Whereas you guys have been through the mold where you've been through the experience that's happened in your lives.
Yeah.
So this is basically me just asking sort of advice. If it was to happen tomorrow, number one, I'll be anxious as hell. I'll be super anxious.
Lie to you, you will be.
I will be. How do you guys go through it? I mean, I think let's stick to this topic or this part, because you mentioned having a child that was anxious for you. It was something new in your life.
Yeah.
So as somebody that doesn't have that experience, share with me, like, what advice do you give or do you have for me, somebody that potentially could be in that position one day? I don't know. Yeah. Because right now I'm still in that plan phase.
I got you.
So yeah, what advice do you have?
I would say take one day at a time. Whether you plan, you don't plan, things are gonna happen that you won't see coming. I think just do your best. If even on the days that you feel you aren't doing enough, you are. Just be graceful with yourself, and always have faith that everything will work out as it's supposed to.
Okay. And support-wise, how's the support been like?
Support, look,
with the family, because I know you got an amazing family.
Yeah, so I've been blessed and fortunate to have an amazing family support me, and I think it's also about being very open about the situation
and being able to also?
Less anxious, yeah. Well. Being able to talk to people you love. Like I spoke to you a lot during this process, and that's helped me.
Talking to someone.
Tons, yeah, really it has. Because you when you bottle these feelings up, especially anxious feelings, then, like I said, it's sweeping things under the rug, and then it tends to get worse.
So you're just holding, and it makes you feel uneasy because and it's
like a nuclear bomb is waiting to just.
Yeah. It's the same as if you have that argument with friends. Maybe your friend did you dirty. There was something, maybe they spoke something negatively about you to somebody else. You heard about it from somebody else, and now you're anxious because you haven't dealt with it. So what is the next best thing to do? To confront that person, or because I've always been that person. If I've heard something, address it immediately. But at the same time, I've been given advice where people tell me not to address it,
Yeah.
Consider that person's feelings. So what is your take on that? Because me, it makes me anxious if I haven't confronted you. If I'm gonna smile and greet you and have a conversation with you, knowing that you said something negatively about me to the next person, knowing that I trusted you, I'm gonna feel anxious because now I'm putting up a front. I'm sort of, So what advice do you have for that?
So
just address the issue, or is there other ways to tackle the situation?
it would be dependent on the individual. Look, for me, if you are talking
me or the person that spoke,
just in general now. Like I'll get to specifics in a moment. But if you don't take lightly to someone saying something behind your back and it's bad, I mean, it's normal. We don't like people to, especially people that we trust, to
trust someone that's close to us.
Kind of stab me in the back with like what they say about you.
Yes.
So in a case like that, I would understand and validate your feelings. But if you would like to speak to that person, address it, then that's what you should do. I just think it should be from a place of calm, not just rushing into it, being like, why did you say that? What if that person hadn't even said anything? You want to find out more. I think
flip the truth.
So I think find out more from the person that committed said crime.
No,
not crime, but like, you know what I mean. And then speak to them openly about it.
Yeah, because what I've learned is, no matter where you are, even if it's at work, never respond based on emotions.
Yeah,
you're gonna say something that you're going to regret.
When emotions are high, logic is low. So what you want to do is, even myself, I'm not perfect. I'm human. There are days where I'm more reactive than responsive, and I think we need to kind of train ourselves, train our minds to be more responsive. Take a pause, just take a moment where we can process what's being said, and then get down back to baseline. Because I mean, obviously, when you hear information that you don't like or that you find dangerous, you tend to go all over the place, especially in your head, which can obviously cause anxiety. I think just pause, take a few, even if you need to tell the person you want to confront that I need a few days or I need a few hours, and then address it later. But I think the state that you are in when you want to confront someone about something that they might have done to you or that you've heard from somebody else, I think.
So basically, when you're emotional, that's not the best time to respond or confront the situation. Yeah, when you're still emotional, when you're riled up.
I think be more calm first. Like, get equanimity. That's basically another word for being calm, and then address the issue from that point. Yeah.
No, because why I'm asking you this is because that's one thing about me, and it's something I've had to deal with in terms of anxiety. Is when you hear negative thoughts about you, when you've heard, Jody's this, Jody's that. So it's made me anxious. But over the years, I've learned to be more understanding. Maybe that person, I don't know what that person said, number one. I'm hearing it from a third party.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's telling me a lot about that person's character. If it is true, if that person is saying negative things about me, it's making me see that person in a different light. Like, okay, so you wear a mask, you are covering something, you clearly you don't like me, but it's not a me problem, it's a you problem.
Yeah.
You've got the problem. So yeah, it's I think, like you said, just be more calm, more grounded, be more understanding.
Yeah.
First. But it's I think it's still a learning process. For me, it's a learning process. As long as you've gone through as much experience as you've had with dealing with people that have made you anxious, it's still a learning process.
Yeah.
Every situation is different. There's a different level.
Different individuals as well. Different personalities.
It could be someone that's very close that you've trusted with so many stories that you are anxious that this person could leak to the public, but you've trusted them so much that you, in the moment when you've told them, you've been calm. But once that stories go out, that anxiety is through the roof. So like, there's a lot to deal with when it comes to anxiety, where trust for me, I think that also
keep it,
so people always say stay as private as possible. So don't tell people your business, keep things low key. That's what's helped a lot with anxiety, because the more people know your business, the more talk.
Yeah. More pressure you put on yourself.
More pressure you put on yourself.
And eyes.
Yeah, so and 10 to 1 that's mainly negative talk. So you've actually put more pressure, you've actually built up this anxiety upon yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas if people know nothing what you're doing and you're just living in the moment and just enjoying yourself, that's less pressure, no drama, no anxiety. So I feel like anxiety, it's come from, especially from experience, come from different scenarios, like I've mentioned now with friends. Something unprepared, you've had an unprepared situation. If we dive into school, it's your tests, assignments, because of deadlines. In the workplace, you'll maybe get that call or that email from your boss about something that's last minute,
and it
sets you off. It makes you anxious, like, oh, this came out of nowhere. What do I do? Because it happens. A lot of time people put pressure on you out of the blue for something that needs to be done in the future, right? And like you said, you can't control your future in the present moment just yet. You need to first just live in the moment. Take a step back, go for a walk. I think you always tell me just go for a walk. I know it sounds weird to a lot of people, but it's effective.
Nah, it is effective.
It's so effective.
Take a cool down.
It really is. I mean, I see it at work. I see it everywhere I go. People are boiling. They just go for a walk. You have to. It's like you have to reset your mind. Seriously. But anxiety, it's something that I still deal with. No matter how many techniques you have, you're still gonna have to deal with it. But you're still gonna have to put the steps in place to deal with it. So tell us, what steps do you have besides the going for a walk, reset, breathing? What else?
Me, I think meditation has played a very huge role in me becoming more grounded. I know you said besides breathing, but meditation, at least the type of meditation that I've been doing, requires a lot of deep breathing.
Okay.
And that's amazing because with deep breathing, you release a lot more carbon dioxide.
Yes.
Which can also play with your anatomy. So it can determine if your heart is racing or your heart is higher. And that will obviously impact if you are more stressed or less stressed. So that's been very helpful. Journaling, which I know you've also taken on.
Love it. We journal.
Yeah.
Journal all the time.
Journal all the time. That is a way of you kind of getting everything that's on your mind on paper, seeing it, and being like, okay, it's actually not as bad as I was picturing it to be. And then you can also basically take action on what you were thinking about. So let's say that you are wanting to go to gym, but let's say you don't want to do it for whatever reason, but that's an obligation. And there are many things that are obligations, and when we focus on the obligation, usually we become more stressed and we become more anxious as well. So if you think about the opportunity, if I do go to gym, yes, I might need to get out of bed earlier perhaps, or pack in my gym clothes, drive, get to gym. Like those are all things you do before you get to gym. And people often think, okay, no, it's not as simple for me. I think if you care, or if you focus too much on the obligation, you become more anxious.
Yes.
But if you focus on the opportunity, then you'll be more likely to take action on it, and you'll be wanting to take action on it more.
I like what you mentioned now with that whole build up to. You mentioned gym as an example because, let's say you journaled, gymming for 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, the going home, getting in the bags, the gym bags,
Food.
getting some nutrition in, all that stuff. It becomes so overwhelming for people. They get anxious. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna go straight home and I'm gonna go sleep. And that comes back to procrastination. You that's why I say procrastination and anxiety is, it's all linked together. Because you get to that point where you fear the future. So like you said, there's gym, but all that steps we get so scared that we just
don't even take the first
we
step.
don't even take the first step. Like, screw those steps. I'm gonna take the easy way out. I'm just gonna go relax. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it comes back to what I mentioned to Mike about the different procrastinators. The overbooker, the performer, the novelty seeker, and the self-deprecator. Like, there's just different forms of procrastination, and for me, all of them are linked to anxiety because you're stopping something. You're not even starting it because all the different scenarios that's playing in your head, or the fear of something might happen in the future.
You already created an outcome.
You've created the outcome. So in order for you to prevent that outcome happening, you just not do it at all.
Yeah.
So no, anxiety, it's serious. It's something we're still battling today, no matter what, no matter where.
And to come back to your procrastination thing now, one thing that often causes a lot of anxiety is procrastination, but it's the way that people must perceive it. So you are doing, let's say, 102 different things, but you aren't actually doing anything that's moving the needle forward.
Yes.
And that causes a lot of anxiety because now you are busying yourself, numbing, but you aren't actually doing anything that's helping you get to your goal.
Yes.
So that's also...
That's actually very true. And I mean, that is one of the forms of procrastination where you are busy, but there's supposed to be an end goal. There's supposed to be something that will help you achieve that result.
Yeah.
But you're too busy doing all the other things and not getting to the most important part or the most important thing in order to achieve that result or goal or whatever it is. And that's what makes you anxious. That's at least to anxiety. Like if you're doing something at work, or for example, let's say you're a people pleaser, you assisting all these colleagues, but your work is standing still. You're creating this anxiety. Is like, I'm so busy, but yet I'm not getting to my work. End of the days, you get your KPI, your performance gets rated based on what are you doing, what is under your name. Not what did I do for this colleague, what did I do for that colleague. So you need to, you need to assert yourself. You need to take a stand and do things that's important for you first.
Yeah.
That's also how you eliminate anxiety.
100%. Self-care.
I've got a few FAQs here, frequently asked questions.
Thank you for that disclaimer, sir.
Yes. Just something that we can, maybe just a few things we can answer, or give your opinions.
Yeah, for sure.
So we spoke about what is anxiety. What are the symptoms of anxiety?
There are quite a few.
What symptoms that you picked up?
I don't even know if I should share this, but I get like my palms sweat when I get anxious. Like at this moment, it's dry, but it's because I've become so comfortable on camera. But sweating is definitely one, and I know quite a few people aside from myself suffer from when they get anxious. Another one would be feeling restless, not being able to sleep at night as well, feeling the loss of control, not being able to handle a situation, and then you just feel like you just don't have any control of it. Yeah. So those are definitely some of the symptoms that
I used to. So it's like very much also external. Like I used to have like breakouts on my skin, pimples and stuff like that. Yeah, like you said, sweaty glands, sweaty hands. It's anxiety is just negative. Every symptom is just negative. It's not because already it's not a nice feeling. Yeah. So obviously it's unease. So obviously everything that you're feeling is gonna just reflect negatively, like the results. So yeah, okay, that's the symptoms. It's interesting that they asked that question, but I think it's basically the answer there is the symptoms is what you're feeling, what's different. Yeah. Are you running to the toilet all the time, or you know what I'm saying? The symptoms you pick up by yourself. Everyone's different. Everyone's body reacts differently as well. Yeah. So, how can I manage my anxiety? It's something that we spoke about before, with going for a walk, breathing, meditation.
I would say
journaling. I think journaling is like my cure for everything. Yeah. We spoke about it.
It's a massive game changer.
People don't understand. I've actually seen what I found also very interesting I've got a friend. Let's call him Ian. No, seriously, it's better to mention names.
Yeah.
When he gets anxious, he draws. That guy is such a great artist. Like when he's nervous or he's anxious about something.
Yeah.
When he just takes out a piece of paper, whether it's wherever he is, he just takes out a piece of paper, pen, and just starts drawing. And the guy is such a good. I even told him, why don't you become like a graphics designer or something? Like,
Yeah.
Your mind is so creative. You're actually doing something constructively to help calm yourself, and that's amazing. So I've seen that drawing is actually a sort of like a remedy, like a cure for anxiety, for stress. So that is one.
And I think you've actually given me another one that I've just thought about. Playing an instrument as well, like guitar.
Yes.
That is also quite therapeutic, I would say.
Music in general.
Yeah.
Listening. I mean, if you look at the different moods when you're feeling sad, you obviously you sort of dabble in different genres based on your mood. If you want to get that pump at gym, you get people listening to heavy metal, to hip hop, to trance, just something to get that heart racing.
Yeah.
Then you get people who want something more relaxing, like maybe a bit of R&B, indie rock, something based on the mood. So music is very therapeutic as well.
For sure.
Also helps with anxiety. To be honest, it helped me with anxiety. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that one. Music. What else is there?
Well, there's actually four-step process you can actually look at. It's called ALT, which is short for hungry, angry, lonely, or I believe tired. So if you're hungry, I mean,
eating.
Yeah,
Eating is a form of therapy. I know people can say what they want to. When people are sad, they lean towards chocolate.
Exactly.
Or so
or snacks.
I mean, I'm not saying run to McDonald's and buy you a full, what do you call it, that share box.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying do that, because you are what you eat. You still need to eat sort of discipline.
Balanced.
A balanced diet also does affect your mood as well. Like, I'll take a perfect example. I know of people who drink coffee at night. And I've told that people, why are you doing that?
Yeah. It's an odd thing to do.
Drink tea in the night. Calm your body. You need to go sleep. You can't get ready for the day. And people will probably laugh at it and be like, coffee at night, that's crazy. But you'll be surprised how much people have coffee during the night. And that's not good. I think that switch up, your intake can also affect your mood, anxiety, So you said
and then
hungry.
There's angry. I mean, could often be anxious because you are angry with maybe yourself, with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Can you learn to forgive that other person and to forgive yourself? Whatever it might be that is bothering you as well.
So what mechanism do you use to cope with that? With that anger?
It's more of a, I would say, what is in your control, because people will do things to you that you want to have control over that, and that will link back to your being angry with yourself as well. So you need to take actions that will allow you to grow. Maybe that person hasn't done the best thing. You can forgive them, but then you can also cut your time with that person. You don't have to put yourself through that again if you know they will anger you. Or if you are able to, and this person is someone that's important in your life, speak to them, tell them how you feel, and then take it from there. But don't allow your anger to keep you in this anxious mood. Just forgive.
What's also yeah, it is very simple. What's also an interesting one, and I'm sure people can relate to this. So I've had this where I've felt so upset, I've actually leaned towards comedy.
Yes.
It's also a sort of a form
therapeutic.
Therapeutic. Yeah. It's a form of therapy. Like when I felt so angry, so peed off to the point where you just have no control. Like you just want to, take somebody's head off. Put on that comedy. I'm laughing. What's it? LMA? Laughing my ass off to the point where you've forgotten why you're angry.
That's true.
Seriously, it's very, very
completely change your mood.
Change your mood. So like what you hear, what you see can definitely affect your mood and
For sure.
can contribute to, stop being anxious. So, and what was the LT?
Lonely. So, are you maybe boxing yourself? Maybe you need to spend more time with people that help you to feel good, that bring your energy up.
Yes.
And maybe you are anxious because you are spending time with people that drain you from your energy. Okay. So it's like, can you look at your circle, and make adjustments to that? Quality over quantity.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm going to mention as much as possible. You are what you eat, and you are who you surround yourself with. Like 100%. I said, Roscoe mentioned it, like I said, in a previous episode, and I'll keep repeating it. It's so true. I've had that, and you've had it. Everybody's had it, where you've moved on to, let's say, a better circle, but a circle that contributes to a positive mindset, to growth, to things in your life that's changed, where you've seen like a growth in your career, a growth in skills development and everything, because of who you've surrounded yourself with. You've changed that up.
Yeah.
It's true. I remember when I was going through depression, in that time, my circle was so toxic. And it didn't make sense at the time, because you're going through you're going through the mold. You're going through the motion where you're emotional, you don't know why you're feeling this way, why things are not working for you. Now I've changed my circle again, or like you said, your top 5 people. You always look at your top 5 people that you surround yourself with. I've changed my circle. I've surrounded myself with people who are go-getters, who are consistently growing, who are never satisfied with where they're at. They're always, it's on to the next thing, on to the next. So I've looked at that now. I've changed my circle, and I've looked at what I'm doing now in life.
Yeah.
And it all makes sense. It's contributed to my mood change as well, and to my positive mindset. I'm feeling happier, more motivational.
Yeah.
Compared to 2-3 years ago when I was depressed.
That's great.
So circle change.
Step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction.
And then the last one, which I feel like
tiredness.
Tiredness.
Just sleep more.
No, literally. At least try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Why I'm laughing is that people don't realize the importance of rest.
Yeah.
Really, they don't. You want to know why you're angry? If you're sleeping 3 or 4 hours,
there you go.
There's your answer.
Groggy.
Seriously.
Just literally need to get some
rest. Okay. How can I help someone who has anxiety?
So, this one I would say, just let them express themselves. Listen.
That's very important.
Without judging them, and just
open up.
Yeah, be empathetic. So, if you can relate to them, tell them you aren't alone. I've also go through this, and let them know that they have your support, they have your love, and encourage them to do things like meditating, deep breathing, going to groups where they can actually get support.
Socialize.
Support groups, yeah. Social
anxiety is the thing, eh?
Yeah.
Like I know friends who have struggled with social anxiety, but you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to face your fears. You have to face your fears. Definitely. And I know for those who have social anxiety, from my friends, they've felt a lot 10 times better with facing that fear of being part of a circle, being part of a group.
Yeah.
Yes, so facing your fears. Why is having a certain perspective important?
So I think this is a very nice closing for this topic that we've spoken about today. And I think perspective is so important, because how you view a situation can make or break you. And I actually had a conversation with one of your really good friends, Lejean, and she actually told me that earlier, and I find that to be so true, because you can either see things as happening to you, life is horrible, why me, why always me, or is this an opportunity for me to grow, to become the best version of myself, and give myself the best chance at enjoying this thing that we call life.
I like that. So, any advice for the viewers at home?
If you aren't following this guy's podcast, please, by this point, guys, man, you're killing me. Just follow him.
Besides them following the pods, what advice do you have, like especially on this topic of anxiety?
Just take one step at a time. Don't try to stop what you are feeling. Just be an observer of your thoughts and take it from there. You will get better. And just, I think, try to be grounded. Be present as often as you can. Yeah.
Being present, I think that's very important. We often allow ourselves to be distracted. Like I said, like you hear your phone buzzing, immediately we're triggered to go pick it up to see who's calling or texting, what is it about, and then we totally go off of what we're currently doing. I think it's important. People don't understand the importance of being present. But yeah, we want you to be present here next time. So
it would be an honor, man, an honor.
So we can talk about anything, guys. In the comments below, please let us know. Is there anything else regarding mental health talks that you'd like us to dive into? Please let us know in the comments below. But until next time.